All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the MAP Technologies podcast. We're back with everybody, and we are a little more lounge out this go around. I'm beside my life partner. Slash. We're
He's
actually,
like, and to my
yeah,
in
Yeah,
front of
you
me,
can.
yeah.
third screen from the right.
We're actually some actual physical left is JB. JB,
Hey
introduce yourself.
guys.
Yes, this is the voice that you guys hear off camera all
Yeah,
the
I'm the,
time.
the disembodied voice
Yes,
on some of the broadcasts.
and we also have Mr. Oh No chewing, looking around, oblivious. What's going on, Mr. J Infinite?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
And then it's only one other person.
So, from my view, I am beneath you. So,
Okay, because you're a peasant. Yeah, you're
Where,
beneath.
where we
Yeah.
usually find them.
it's the charm city champ.
Yeah. And we're back. We're bringing you some more news while we get this transition done into our new place. So, what's the happening, 3C?
Today we are on literally the eve of next gen consoles. We're starting to be able to talk about them. The Xbox Series XS embargo just lifted today,
Yes.
so a lot of exciting news.
Mm-hmm.
But we're seeing
Suppose
what was that?
I'm sorry. Supposedly we've a couple of them are in the wild, so I've kind of
Yeah,
read here and there. Yeah.
yeah,
So.
a couple of high profile influencers they got them,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're starting to be able to talk about them and show gameplay and stuff. But what we're hearing is a lot of people are complaining about uh, the next gen graphical leap or lack thereof.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured we'd talk about that a little bit
Yeah, that's
later
a
today.
good point. I mean, that's probably one of the purposes of next gen consoles, the next evolution
Yeah,
in gameplay, graphics, and so on and so forth. So, what you guys think? Is somebody say something?
we're gonna save that
Graphics?
for later though.
Oh, I thought we were
Yes.
talking about that now.
We got to make
No,
them wait.
that's the main topic.
It's
That's
the
the main
main topic.
topic.
We gotta. That's
Oh,
just the tease.
I
We
know
gotta
you're
like
new
we
to
I'm
this,
about to
but
say,
there's
like
there's an order.
yeah, like we just rehearsed, like we just said. Okay.
It's funny. I was thinking, I was like, maybe he should like just put his little screenshot of the rundown
just
in the
gonna
Discord
my
thing,
little
and I was like,
Gmail.
nah, let me reply.
Dang. Okay.
That's
First,
going
who
to be its
bought?
own Discord window. But first, like always, redactions.
Redactions. Who messed up?
Like always, it was your boy, me.
You don't say.
What you do, man?
Just a small one, just a small boo boo. You brought up Fear 3.
Yes.
And I was so certain that Fear 3 was the only one that was ported to the Xbox 360, but actually all three of them are on the 360 and PS3.
Mm-mm-mm.
Unforgivable.
Mm-mm-mm. Those what those not the Namco. What's the Atari game system guys? They're gonna get you for that too.
Oh, Amico,
Yeah, them Amico
Amico.
guys gonna get you. They are out for
They are.
blood.
They really. I am like Public Enemy One, and I just
You
really.
are.
I
That's
don't. I don't
and that's
care. That's the fun thing.
and that's pretty good. Like you were literally were not even trying to do anything remotely close to that, and you did it.
No.
GG's.
imagine what happens
Gang
if
is
I.
out there.
Imagine what happens if I try to get people to hate me.
It's so effortless with it.
But next up is what are we playing?
What are we playing? I am still dibble dabbling in Borderlands 3, even though I can't find anybody to play online with.
Someday I'll install it.
Yeah. um, I'm still farting around with Shadowlands. The
Okay.
pre-event should come out next week.
We're actually playing right now.
Yeah, while you guys are while we're doing this, and I've actually there's a game on PlayStation 4 and probably Xbox One called Bless Unleashed. It's another MMO. I downloaded that and fought around with that. A little bit of Among Us. I've been playing with the guild. Yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
We were. So I hopped in with them the other night,
Yeah,
but I guess it was you weren't
I
there. It
missed
was
it, that one. So yeah,
Mhm.
still Among Us and trying to think. Is anything else? No, that's about it. That's
Uh,
about it.
so I've heard of everything you mentioned except for Blessed Unleash. What is that
You are
about?
not missing. I do not even want to waste the brain space and the bandwidth. So it's really not worth talking about. It's not. Just forget I said it. You can
Okay.
actually omit it. It's say the
Just gonna
brain
be
space.
bleep.
Yeah.
What
So
about you, John?
Warzone. That's all I've been playing.
okay.
Mm,
That's it. I had to finish the Halloween event so I can get the pumpkin pumper.
mm.
So I
Did you
finished
get the
that.
pumpkin pumper?
Uh, oh, I got the pumpkin.
Did you
Oh,
pump those
yeah. You
pumpkins?
pump those pumpkins. Those pumpkins in there.
So the pumpkin punisher. Before we get.
It's we we call it the pumper, man.
So how do you get it? So I uh I went back and got all the crates, right? The trick or treat crates.
Right. Mhm.
But it's not in my inventory. Like, so what did you
Yeah.
have to
So
do?
that was a problem
Hmm.
that they tried to patch. Apparently what was happening was people were getting the charms and stuff from the crates and all the things you needed to collect from the crates,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't registering on their accounts.
Mm.
So by the end of the event, if you didn't get it, you were pretty much SOL.
Wow.
Because there were some people that got all 16 items and still haven't received their gun yet. I think they will eventually, but
I am
they haven't got. But
I
I
am
haven't gotten it. So
I am one of those some of those people. So
I think next patch. I think I guess I think next weekend. I mean next Tuesday. You guys should be getting that. Should be getting it.
all right, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah, that's all I've been playing.
All right, all right, all right. I have been very excited because I received my first Xbox Series X game before the Series X, but
I'm about to say this is before. I mean, I got the
uh,
game, but not the system.
Watchdog Legions. I've been playing
Okay.
a lot of that. It's I streamed it earlier this week. Check it out if y'all didn't watch it.
Yeah, I
You
don't know if it's your cable or something,
yeah.
Yeah.
but
Am I
it's
going?
like
I'm going in and
Feedback.
out.
it was like horrible wrestling.
Maybe I should stop moving around.
Maybe.
Does that sound?
Stop wrestling your wife while you're on screen.
All right, so Watchdog Legions. I'm enjoying it a lot, and that's coming from somebody who normally does not like open world Ubisoft games. Like, I bought Odyssey just out of everybody calling it game of the year, and I played it for like 5 hours and
Nothing.
uninstalled it. I don't get it. I think all Ubisoft open world games are the same. You got to climb some dumb shit to look at the map. Then you got to go to it
Jump
just
off.
yeah, it just all looks the same. But Watchdog Legions, I really think changes the game with the mechanic of recruiting literally anybody in that open world.
And can you recruit anybody in that open world?
It works. It literally
Okay. All
I
right.
and I have been trying so hard. So I've probably got maybe 6 or 7 hours into the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I've only played like 2 or 3 story missions because I've been spending my time trying to break the game. Like I've been trying to figure out like how like you're playing a game that uses procedural generation
Mm-hmm.
like No Man's Sky. Like they really bragged about how they'll have procedurally generated planets and aliens and stuff like that, and people were going around finding aliens with like an ass for a face
Right.
and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm going to find that, and but it works pretty well.
Okay.
Like you're not finding like weirdos with purple mustaches and stuff like that. People look
Mm,
like people. I haven't found two people that look the same, which is extremely impressive. And
mm.
everybody has there are cutscenes that have to be prepared for anybody in that city to be in, and
Right.
it
And
works.
okay. All right, Ubisoft.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's the good.
It's
But
kind of like the WoW cutscenes where
Yeah.
they insert
hmm
your character
Right.
into it.
hmm
It's pretty cool.
the bad though is that this I feel like, and I don't have any quote proving this, but I feel like this game definitely was made for next gen consoles and PC first, and then they tried to port it to current gen consoles because it's optimized like shit.
Okay.
Like
Yeah, cutting it.
it's in the time that I've played the game for about a week today, it has crashed on me 6 times.
Well, at least it has not bricked your console.
It did not, but we'll get to that later.
We will. We will.
Yeah, the thing, it crashed several times, but the autosave is pretty frequent, so I didn't lose anything, but that's very discerning.
So crashing as in it froze or it just kind of like kicked out and went back to the main screen.
It'll freeze. You know how, like, if a game freezes while it's in the middle of making a noise, it makes that little,
Okay.
and then, yeah,
And it does that.
and then it kicks
I
you
like
out.
that. Can you do that again?
Sorry, I can't relate. My console doesn't make noise.
Get you an Xbox. But yeah, besides the performance issue and the optimization issue, I'm really loving the game.
Okay, cool.
I'm looking forward to playing it on the Series X next week.
All right. JB, what you playing?
On Monday I played Smash.
Okay.
I like finally got to Smash and my playthrough of all the games. So that was 9 minutes and 48 seconds.
Okay.
It was a solid playthrough. But then last night I played A Bug's Life. Which I had never seen or played before. I saw the movie
On
like
the
when it came
64?
out. Yeah, there was a Bug's Life game.
Mhm.
It was a 3D platformer.
How was it? It was basic 3D platform.
So it started out the first level. I just went, oh no, that was not a good first impression. But by the end of the game, I was like, I like this game. Like I'm having a good time.
Oh man.
And then I got to the last level.
Mm.
So I'd been playing for like 3 hours 45 minutes, and I was like, sweet. It's the last level is just the last boss. I was like, I can get this done in under 4 hours. 45 minutes later, I beat the game. The worst boss fight
Mechanics were just
of all time.
That horrible. It was just
So I thought I had to like lure this guy to a certain area
okay.
because that's what the text led me to believe.
Oh.
So I jump around, I get some power ups. I thought I hit him a few times, and I saw his health bar didn't go down. So I'm like, okay, I need to like lure him to this area where the bird will come in and kill him because he's a grasshopper because it's A Bug's Life.
Mhm.
And the entire area looks the same. It's like all the same color and texture, and it's raining for some reason. And it's all horrible. And there's this little log I had to walk on. It was the worst platform in the whole game. I kept like, sliding off the sides of it. And so after like 20 minutes of that, I found out, oh, I actually can hit him. And I just had to like take away some health, and he would go to the next area. And then take away some health, he would go to the next area.
So when you do these games, you're not allowed to look them up. You're just
I mean, I could, I just don't.
okay.
Like,
All right.
I
Yeah, that makes sense.
I was having such a good time, and then that was just like,
It took the wind right out.
oh
of
my
you.
god, dude, it was just so bad.
So there you guys have a little bit of insight on how to beat A Bug's Life for Nintendo 64. That I never knew was actually
Yeah,
on.
I had a bunch of people in chat. They're like, "Oh, I played this when I was like 5 years old, and I got stuck on the second level." And I was like, "Yeah, it makes sense. Actually, the second level's easy. Like you're a dumb kid. Third level, I could totally see you getting stuck on. Second level is like a straight line." But yeah, that game wasn't great. Next game is Bust a Move 99.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
if you guys
Yeah,
ever played
yeah,
Bust a Move,
yeah,
so that should be a good
That's
one.
Yeah. Cool.
I feel good about the games coming up.
Good. Good. So that's what we are all playing.
I've not logged on to WoW.
You said you did not?
I have not.
You're not missing anything.
I know there's like that one mount I was camping for like
You're not missing it.
months, and I just stopped.
Tuesday login.
I was busy this
Yeah,
month.
I got all hyped up Tuesday. I was like, oh, pre-patch stuff. I got it. Nothing. Just fuck.
Just a fuck.
So, yeah. Damn it.
Well, next
So what's next, good sir?
it's the news.
What's happening, Captain? We got it for you. That's on
I like that.
John, we got news. What are you looking at, John?
I can't.
He's looking at nudes.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was. I couldn't tell if Jaw was like preoccupied or just unimpressed.
Yeah. Whatever.
He's frozen, right?
I'm doing research on the other side of my screen.
Okay.
Research.
Yeah. Big old
Research.
bottle of Jergens on there. Let me research, man.
You
You
just
guys said
turn.
news, right?
Let me-
Well prepared.
News.
So let's start the news with what we kind of briefly talked about. Watchdog Legions and its poor optimization for current gen consoles. It is literally bricking some people's. I've read Xbox One X's specifically.
Okay.
What about y'all?
Just same thing. I didn't specifically see what system. I just
hmm,
assumed it was just like all of them. It was just a run of the gambit, but it's more one X's than anything else.
yeah, so what I've read is that PS4s and the Xbox One base and Xbox One S only run the game at 1440p max with a
Ah.
unlocked, yeah, with the game never gets over 30 frames per second, but the
Mm-hmm.
One X tries to run a game
Sounds like
at
Bug's Life.
I would be impressed if Bugs Life did 30 frames per second.
So the X will try to push it.
Yeah, the X tries to run it in 4, I think. And that's
Mm.
what's kind of like making the X work too much because the game is it's so that world is so densely populated.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very shocked that a base Xbox One could run it, period, let alone at
The
1080.
X.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're trying to make the X run it at the specs that the next gen consoles can run it.
Yeah. You're
That
pushing
was
that thing.
insane. Yeah.
At them boxes. Oh my, oh, Lord, oh Jesus, oh Lord, please the time my butt sound like one of them old. Oh Lord Jesus, please my body's so tired. Just take me.
Man, you're really going with this.
Yeah. Oh Lord Jesus, please. Oh, just just downgrade me to 480.
Why does everybody Xbox One X sound like an old mammy to
I
you?
suppose the old, old, oh
That's the
Lord, oh
only
Lord,
voice
yeah,
Mike
yeah,
can
yeah.
do.
Oh Lord, please, I can't optimize this. Oh, please take me down to native, native 1080. I can't. Lord Jesus, please. What? Why does my Xbox sound like this?
But yeah, I was looking it up, and I don't. It doesn't look like Ubisoft put out any statement as far as a patch to help Watchdog Legions run better on current gen. They're just acting like I don't know. It's not
They
a
don't
thing.
even have
Well,
fucking last gen
that,
systems.
that, that may be due to the fact that they their source code for Watchdog Legion got leaked.
I'm
They
glad you
might be
brought that.
focusing on that.
Look at the big brain on Brad with the
Right? Look at here. Yeah.
with the segue. So yeah, why you got it pulled up? Why don't you talk about it, John? Or do
Yes,
you got it
bring
pulled
Yeah,
up?
that
so
on camera. We're
basically,
not paying them.
a hacker group last month claimed that they had taken the source code, and it's just been revealed that they actually have it and they leaked it online.
Hey, guess
And the
what?
source
Yeah.
code
Gotcha,
is
Nick.
560 gigs, so they did some
Mm.
real good hacking to get that. So, but Ubisoft is currently investigating what, how that happened, and what they could do to actually um, stop them from leaking that
So
code any further.
Nothing.
so basically it's too late now, right?
Yeah.
So for y'all computer people, can y'all break down why this is bad for Ubisoft for the uncomputery
This
people?
is bad for Ubisoft because this is basically everything. Like this is like the blueprint for the game.
Right.
Hmm.
So other people can take this source code and basically make their own version of Watch Dogs or create a whole another game themselves.
Hmm.
Which Ubisoft is going to lose money because this is probably the source code that they use for other things as well too. So now they
Hmm.
have to scrap. They may have to scrap other projects that they're working on that uses the source code and start from scratch and create a new source code for other games. So
So
they could
don't
potentially lose money.
yeah, don't look for
Depending
that
on what
Just
happens from here
Dance.
on out. So.
Don't they make Just Dance? Yeah.
Just Dance 2021.
Yeah, 2021 be on the back burner,
I'm
y'all.
I'm
Can I
pretty
can I torrent can I torrent this source code
Right,
in?
right.
I'm pretty sure Rayman Legends uses the Watchdogs.
Yeah. Kids crying in the corner now because he can't with that fucking Rayman game.
I gotta play Rayman 2 at some point.
It's
Oh,
time.
I like Rayman 64.
I never played it.
I like that game.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
It's not there yet.
No
Someday.
spoilers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, Next up, Sony with the big move. They're working as of the time that I looked it up. They were still working on finalizing Buying Crunchyroll.
Buying that would be a that would be a cool thing. I'm using someone else's Crunchyroll, but I
Yeah.
use it actively. Thank you, Sherm.
mm
But that would be cool to get prospectively your PlayStation, PlayStation Plus to get Crunchyroll with PlayStation Plus.
So right
I didn't even
now,
realize that people actually use these
What
Crunchyroll.
Crunchyroll?
services. You just type the name of the anime in Google and watch, and I can just watch it.
That that's illegal.
Are
That should be
you
illegal to do.
exonerating yourself? um, yeah, man. Currently it's owned by Time Warner, the people who own HBO and like a quarter of the world or whatever.
Yeah, I did not know that, but
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah. So do
Yeah. So
y'all?
apparently
Mhm.
the CEO of Time Warner apparently doesn't like comic books and anime.
Why
Yeah,
did he
why would
buy?
you like comic books
So that's why this sale is probably gonna go through because he
with
wants to
this
just get
whole
rid of it.
Marvel
Sorry.
universe thing going on?
What
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Yeah,
what is this $1 billion industry?
yeah.
This stuff isn't popular.
Man, why y'all
Flash in
like?
the pan. So
I know somebody's just
Yeah,
sitting
go,
across the
go
door
ahead,
from
Brian.
him like this guy's an idiot.
a lot of people are like automatically assuming because like Sony is way bigger than just PlayStation, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure like what the fraction is of how much PlayStation is all of
Yeah.
Sony's budget. So are we to automatically assume that means that Crunchyroll will be included in PlayStation Plus?
I mean, all that. I mean, they
I'm
could do
willing to bet.
something like incorporate into their TVs and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
because they make TVs. So
Mm-hmm.
how hard would it?
Yeah, it'll definitely be like an app and like
Yeah,
TVs and
and then that
stuff.
for their TVs
Mm-hmm.
exclusive. So, I mean, that would be a draw.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
though Sony's TVs are expensive, but
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, new gen consoles are they have like apps and stuff that you can
right.
hmm
install, right? So that'll probably be one.
Yeah.
Why not?
Uh, this forewarning, this news is very Sony heavy, but just because there's a lot
Yeah,
of Sony
kind of.
news this week.
No,
Yeah.
actually, all warnings are forewarnings.
All warnings are
Oh, warning.
forewarnings.
Oh,
You can't like back warn someone.
can I like kill somebody with like, hey, you gonna
I warned
die?
you.
Plate station.
Plate station.
Plate station. There was
Explain to people what plate station was. Well, I guess still is, but
well, so not, technically they changed their so it was a third party company who bought
mhm,
the URL platestation.com and they were trying to sell custom PS5 plates. Apparently the white plating that's on the PS5 can be taken off
right.
and they were trying to create custom versions of that plate. And Sony was like, ha ha, not today.
Yeah, put the Nintendo on that ass. Cease
So
Yeah,
and desist.
Sony actually has a patent on the plate itself. So
I
Yeah, that
figured.
makes sense. Like all the cosmetic parts of it, like
yeah,
you got
Oh,
like you
okay.
gotta.
All right, Sony.
Yeah, so apparently this thing was selling like gangbusters. They were opening it up for pre-orders and they had to cancel all the pre-orders, give everybody their money back.
Mm,
Let
I
me
mean, there's no
see.
way Sony doesn't do this themselves now, right?
you would think.
Like that's
I assumed that was the plan and
yeah.
they just
If they made it like that, like modular,
mhm. But like why I wouldn't risk my PlayStation 5 using some third party guy's plate that he probably just made with a 3D printer.
I mean, for a plate, I might. I mean, I wouldn't maybe stick a thumb drive in my, PlayStation 5. But I mean, it's something cosmetic, I don't necessarily mind. Just like remember the
yeah.
360
What
had
would the plate do?
the fake face plates, and you could buy, third party, Baltimore Ravens, 360 face plates. So I don't mind like
I
something
got
cosmetic.
I got a
if
64 faceplate.
Yeah, 64 face plate.
so, the 360 faceplate was a little different for me than maybe this PlayStation because with next gen, both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, their whole design is emphasized on the cooling and the venting, and every curve and inch of that PS5 was designed with getting air out efficiently.
You said that
And
intimately, every
I mean,
curve and every
that
inch.
that must be why they were able to use to do the cease and desist because it probably is the exact same design.
Yeah.
Right. If it was different, then they could.
If it was different enough, then they wouldn't have a leg to stand on as far as a patent or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could just make some stupid thing that looks ridiculous that fits on there. Like
Mm-hmm.
they can't do anything about that. But if it's like the same piece, that's when the cease and desist is actually like valid.
True.
I wonder if they could just put like a flashlight on it, and then it's not the same thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
As long as it attaches.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just need to go on and you put that little flashlight. That's PlayStation great. Nice and warm.
Right, look, you got Mike all worked up.
Yeah,
you're
I
talking about-
see.
I seen that big old fan in there trying to disperse all that heat.
I'm gonna be talking about the Xbox Series X next week, and Mike's just gonna be like, "But can you fuck it?"
Coming for you, Mike.
I hear,
It's coming for you.
yeah, I hear this ray tracing stuff, but can I fuck this thing? Okay, fine. You guys go ahead with your gameplay and your graphics. Y'all can keep all that.
Sticking to the topic.
Fucking our systems.
So Sony released.
Libby's like, what the
Yeah, I'm not back. Yeah, Mike can't come back.
So,
And hide your system.
hide your systems, hide your wives.
so many.
Sony confirmed today that the PS5 you will not be able to walk into a store and purchase a PS5. So there will be restocks, and stores will be selling them again, I believe, starting Black Friday. Actually,
Yes.
and Sony said you have to secure them online first. You cannot just
Right.
walk in and buy it.
So, but if I'm not mistaken, I think John, you can, if you could, like, I could prospectively buy it from a website and get it shipped to a store and go get it, but
Yeah,
I can't just.
if they don't have if they're not brick and mortar, yeah,
Mhm.
it'll be sent to you.
Okay, but I can't just walk up to Best Buy and be like, "Yo, let me just buy PlayStation
Nope.
5, son."
We're
Mm-mm.
gonna,
Yeah,
tell you no at the door.
The doorbuster is it's dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think they were warning people like, don't camp out. Like, there's no reason to camp
There's no
out.
point.
There's
There's
no
no.
point,
We're gonna be telling people go home.
Yeah.
Are there
Yeah.
any like accessories or peripherals or things that you can buy in person that people would camp out for?
Yeah.
Not-
So basically, what's one of the plans is that you still buy that stuff online. Well, we would prefer you buy it. Well, not we. They would prefer you buy it online.
Who is this?
But you can't come to the store and buy like extra controllers and accessories and stuff like that. But the preference is to buy it online,
Okay.
pick it up in store.
All right, let's go buy all the
Right.
controllers.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah.
think I saw some pictures. They're putting up the displays as we speak. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Cool.
Yeah, but
All right.
Sony emphasized that their motivation for doing that is specifically for COVID and to keep people
Yes.
from crowding up. And so when you phrase it like that, that makes sense. I
It
like that.
does. It does, especially.
I mean, it always looks bad when it's like this person was trampled to death trying to buy a PlayStation.
Exactly.
Like that never really looked good.
Yeah. Now he got trampled and he has COVID.
And he has
Yeah.
COVID.
The double whammy. Yeah.
Lastly, so this last story wraps everything up in a little bow. We talked about Ubisoft a little bit, talked about PS5 a little bit. Now we're going to talk about Ubisoft and PS5 together.
Oh, they're together.
No, boom, boom. So Sony earlier in the month, well, earlier in the year, said that PlayStation is going to be almost, I forget the actual figure, but they said almost all PS4 games will be back compat on the PS5.
Yes,
Ex-
almost.
almost. They
Almost.
they released a small list of games that they confirmed will not work on the PS5. Ubisoft came out and said that we got more games to put on that list. Hold on, I'm gonna see if I can find the exact list.
Okay, pull that thing out.
Pull that thing out. But yeah, the list consisted of several Assassin's Creed games. Vamp.
Never saw it.
All right, I got it.
Film things.
Mhm.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Assassin's Creed
JB's over
Syndicate.
here tripping, y'all.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate, Assassin's Creed Chronicles Trilogy Pack, Assassin's Creed Chronicles India, China, and Russia, Risk, Star Trek Bridge Crew, Werewolves Within, and Space Junkies.
So those will be backwards compatible.
Those will not. Those are the list of games that will not be
So
playable.
you
Can't
telling
play
me
Risk.
what the fuck?
Get out my board game.
So they did not clarify why those games are incompatible, which is weird because Star Trek Bridge Crew and Werewolves Within are two PSVR games. So, and the PSVR is fully compatible with the PS5. So,
I get that, but I can play Assassin's Creed Black Flag on my PlayStation 5.
why would you want to? I don't
I
know.
mean,
But
it's the greatest fucking Assassin's Creed game ever. Black
You can't
Flag.
even say that with a straight
Yeah,
face.
Black Flag, you were a fucking pirate. Hello.
I think it's
obviously.
time to wave the white flag.
You know how upset I would be if they put me into the Animus, or it's called what's called
The Animus,
the,
yeah.
the Animus,
Yeah.
and they were like, "We're going to put you in your past life." And I was a goddamn pirate. I'd be like, just cut the thing off while I'm in it. Just let me die. I'm a fucking pirate.
Pretty miserable.
It is. Like, God damn
Just wake up out the Animus, you got scurvy. What?
it.
Can't wait to like be in the ocean for a year and a half and
Yeah.
eat rats. Seems great.
Great. I'm a pirate. Yeah.
What's a shower?
Next
Me
year, so
ball,
we
bitch.
couple days away for all of this stuff. So I think of out of the crew, Brian, you're the only one that actually got your hands on one.
Got my X secured, son. so, so yeah, next week is going to be our next gen spectacular. We're going to break down everything about the Series X, PS5, what we can answer about the PS5,
Right.
and yeah, man. So y'all look forward to that. That'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to do whatever I can do, and we'll talk World of Warcraft. I'm sure, right? Shadowlands.
It's just a pre-patch. It's just like the prep you up for the patch. The patch doesn't come out till November 23rd.
So the pre-patch is usually just they roll out like new talent systems, new class, like a lot of class changes, and then they try and have like a little intro into the new story. That's usually
Yeah.
as far as much as like a pre-patch is.
Yeah.
Like all the PvP seasons are over. Um, it's just people like farming and messing
Literally.
around and
Yeah, that's what I've been
it's
doing.
good for people that are coming back to the game. Like it's like if they left and they're like, okay, I'm gonna get ready for Shadowlands. This is like a good time. You come back and you like see what's different about the classes and everything.
And it kind of preps your character up, gives you a little bit of armor to kind of get you, because you're like you said, you've been gone for a while.
Mhm.
Just kind of like eases you back in, kind of gets you prepped up.
But if you've been playing all expansion, you're just like, there's nothing to do.
Literally,
Mm.
That's
yeah,
why like our guild is just playing Among Us now.
yeah. We'll log in. They be like, "Yeah, go play Among Us." I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, all right. Click over this theme. So, yeah.
Guess what's next, y'all?
That thing we don't say.
Ad break.
Because he just
Out, and he was still.
why didn't you do it in the voice?
Rah, rah.
It's the ad break. Make
is.
sure y'all follow us. Follow us. YouTube, AP Technologies, Patreon. Give us some money, help us out, bring you bigger, better content, exclusive behind the scenes stuff. If you're in the
Like my
Baltimore,
house.
yeah, this is behind the scenes, son. If you're in the Baltimore area, we're moving to our new spot. We're gonna have a few events. If you're a part of the Patreon, come in, get some off some events, some stuff in store. Charm City's been streaming a good bunch. Thank you, 3C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Infinite is gonna start his OnlyFans on Patreon
It's
first.
actually not even his bedroom in the background.
Yeah, he's at a customer's house. So yeah, check us out, please. Help us out. Bing,
Yeah.
bing, 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 bing. Did I forget anything?
No, I think you did good.
Oh, for what?
Adequate.
Gold
Adequate.
star.
Yeah, on my forehead. Thank you.
So on to the dish du jour, right?
Yes. Oh,
uh, graphics.
graphics.
And are they the end all be all of what makes a good game? Right? So
No. All right. See you guys.
can we
Let's
we
talk.
gotta that was the show, guys.
Yeah.
uh, let's break it down. I think we all are on the train of no, as far
Yeah,
as
think in the beginning, the hype of the graphics are, next gen. Everybody wants to see what the graphics can do, but I think overall the
mm,
consensus
It
is
just
no.
depends on what question you're asking. Are you
mm,
asking, are they the most important thing? I think all of us would say no.
mm,
Are they important? I think some of us might say yes.
mm,
Hmm.
But
mm.
Who am I? Right. Who am I? I'm just
it
Who?
just depends on the question.
yeah.
It's like a BuzzFeed quiz.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those like those survey questions where it's like somewhat disagree, disagree.
So the reason the discussion has been reignited is because next gen is right around the corner, like we said, and a lot of these next gen launch titles are not impressing a lot of people the way they wanted to be impressed.
Mm.
Yeah, and
What?
What do they expect?
Yeah. So, what games did you guys see? Because I mean, a few of games I was kind of impressed by. One is Demon Souls. Like,
absolutely, yeah.
I saw the trailer for it, but I really didn't see how nice it looked until I know we spoke about this before. When you see the side by side pics, I was like, oh,
Hmm.
that's a significant difference. I think the 2K21 looked good. Like
That
if
looked good.
it like if you didn't know it was a game and just passing, you would have thought it was like an actual NBA game. So some of
Absolutely.
those games are, in my opinion, are pretty impressive. Like I can see the difference.
Hmm. I think people are looking at those the cross gen games, like your Watchdog Legions, even though I personally think that looks good too. Um, your Spider Man's Miles Morales.
I haven't seen enough of those to really like compare them.
Mhm.
So I mean, of course you have the uh, current gen
Mhm.
Legion. Have you seen stills of the next gen
I see.
to even?
So the next gen, I guess there's still an embargo on showing the next gen version of it, but
Okay,
I've seen PC with ray tracing on run
okay,
Watch Dogs, and if next gen console is going to look anything comparable to that, it's going to look really good.
cool,
Like yeah,
cool.
ray tracing and that locked 30 frames per second really changed the game.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Frames per second. You know,
Fupus.
on my PC, WoW gets 120 frames per second.
It's pretty good.
What? This is not a dick measuring contest. What is
Are you
happening right
sure?
now?
Are you sure about that?
For
Do you
for
know
a
how many
game that came out
frames his
15 years
gets?
ago.
But
I was
does
just putting that out there. On PC, sometimes you get like 120 and stuff. But go ahead, back to consoles. Go ahead, carry on. Go ahead, back to
He brags to
consoles.
women about that.
Yeah.
I'll get 120.
you know my
He's
my rig.
he's like, you want to see how many frames I get?
Yeah. She was like, no, and put some pants on.
my monitor has a 144
Right,
refresh
it has
rate.
120 hertz on my monitor. She was like, get out of my closet.
so
Oh man.
I'm glad I'm glad y'all brought up the confusion between what y'all think good graphics are versus what the general public think good graphics are, because I think that is a good transition to the next question. What exactly is good graphics? Like, what makes a game graphically impressive?
I'm assuming really nailing the style that they're going for. So if you're going for a more realistic look, like 2K21. If it
Mm.
looks real, it looks good. If you're going for a animated look, like I remember when I seen the South Park game,
On the
the role playing game,
64?
and no, the role playing game. I'm
Oh, yeah,
sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Stick of Truth.
Yeah,
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 Stick
yeah.
of Truth, and seeing that, like they were going for it looking like the cartoon, and it looked like the cartoon. So that's
Mhm.
what made that game look graphically good. It
Mm.
went for what they were like. It would have looked like shit. Of course, they were going for the cartoon and like the 64 version. Well, all right,
Yeah.
well now I got some
I
fucking
mean,
questions.
and then you compare like even newer games, but complete different styles, like Borderlands 3.
Mhm.
Compare those graphics to like Last of Us or
Right?
something like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it, so you have different styles.
Right, and that's why I
Mhm.
was saying, as long like it's nailing that style that it's going for. Like looking at that South Park game, it looked like the cartoon, like
Mhm.
verbatim, and you're like, wow, they nailed it. 2K21, looking at Steph Curry, looks like Steph Curry. Wow, they nailed it. So that's what I'm assuming like makes good graphics. You know, when you're going for a style and you absolutely nail
So
it.
accuracy.
Accuracy. There you go. It's the word I'm
Andromeda
looking
3.
for. What you say?
Andromeda.
Y- Mass Effect Andromeda, where like
Mass Effect. Yeah,
where the characters are like all walking around like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can I help?
um, Eddie Murphy when
David Ralph.
Eddie
yeah.
Murphy was like, "I would like one Big Mac and fries." Or something. How the Korean people make fun of Americans. I would like one Big Mac and fries. I love.
So I'm glad you brought up South Park because a lot of people maybe have looked at Stick of Truth and what was the second one called? The
Fractured
Fractured
but whole.
Butthole.
Watch your butthole.
And
Fractured butthole.
you know, it's easy to look at that game and think the art style is easy to achieve.
Hmm.
I implore those people to go back and play South Park on the N64.
No, don't do don't do that.
That game looked like trash.
So that game was the team that made Turok 2, which is a
Right.
great game.
And they
Hmm.
just took the engine.
They I guess they got contract, they had to make the South Park game, and
Hmm.
they mailed it in like no one. Yeah, that game is bad.
It
Oh
is.
my god!
And it was actually bad at the. I remember playing it
Absolutely.
It was bad at
like
the
it
time.
was bad at the time. It wasn't
Mhm.
like
Dude, there was some game you were talking about last week where you like ran out of ammo and you just had nothing by the end of the game or something like that. That was freaking South Park. I
Yeah.
was throwing piss covered snowballs at people because there was no ammo left in the game.
yeah, that game was bad.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I triggered some
um,
PTSD.
another
Yeah.
so like talking about different art styles, like look at the all the anime games.
Oh yeah.
Like the anime
Yeah,
games and anime
yeah.
fighting games and stuff. It's not
Mhm.
like realistic graphics, but it's they
Yeah.
look great.
Look at the
Mhm.
Dragon Ball Z game. The
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
Dragon
about
Ball
and
to
Z
say.
fighting game.
Fighters looks
Yes.
so
Fighting
good.
game looks fast. They nailed it
Mhm.
looking like, and that's what made the graphics good. Versus if you go back and look at, because you figure something that's, if you go back and look at Dragon Ball GT on the
Mhm.
PlayStation 1, like that game looks hard.
Oh
It's
yeah,
terrible.
that's
Like
because it's GT.
yeah, it's GT. GT
Yeah,
was terrible. So
but even like Budokai and
yeah,
everything, like they got the style like
they got
just
the
right for
style right.
fighters, and all these other anime fighters like Guilty Gear, like
Hmm.
Blaze Blue, like they look so good.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously it doesn't look realistic; they're cartoons.
But yeah,
Mhm.
it's going for the style that they're aiming for.
And I think that says a lot because you don't need to be the hardware doesn't need like to be a graphical powerhouse in order to produce something that's graphically impressive.
Right. I mean, of course, it helps to have that option. But yes, you are
Yeah.
correct.
And I think in the huge titles, I mean, they're gonna keep pushing the limit
Hmm.
on the
Mhm.
graphics. And you ask like, what makes something like have good graphics?
Mhm.
And like for those more realistic ones, it's the things that they're improving now, like the shadows and the lighting and all of that. Like those seemingly small details are
Mhm.
what's making such a huge difference in these new like the new more realistic looking games.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was watching some VR guys um look at the Hulk, like the first Hulk, and go through all the Hulks, and they were just talking about the trend, like, and you can evidently see a difference from even with the what's the guy that plays the Hulk right now,
Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. Like,
Mhm.
there's a difference in the first time he appeared as the Hulk and then the last time because they're still
Oh yeah.
and that's the same thing we're just going to see with these with these graphics. They're going to like the minute details are going to make everything that much better because they have the power to do all of
And you
that.
didn't really notice it over the last 10
You
years or whatever, but you put
Mm.
them side by side and you're
and
just
that
like,
was the
what?
thing, yeah. So of course they were going. The first Hawk and the second Hawk were just like night, and then when they got into the Mark Ruffalo and they were comparing like the first time he appeared into like Endgame, I'm
Mm.
looking like, oh shit, there is a difference. But
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
course it's so minute because they're just doing it over time. So same thing we're gonna get with this. We're just gonna get it critiqued better and better.
I mean, look at Toy Story 1 compared to Toy Story 4.
Yeah, Toy Story 1 like literally looks like a PlayStation 1 game and 4 looks, like looking at 1, I didn't realize how bad it looked until I
Yeah,
went back and looked at it. I was like, "Holy, this literally looks like a PlayStation 1."
It's
It was
funny
like
because the first one it blew everything
it did.
completely out of
out
the
of the
water.
Yeah.
water.
Like
Hmm.
Yes.
no one could touch them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
We weren't even
Yeah.
3D gaming at the time. The Toy Story game was on the Super Nintendo.
The first one, yeah.
Was it
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Yeah.
And just think like you could probably make a Toy Story 1 cartoon on your iPad now.
Right.
Yeah. Like on your iPhone, you're just like, yeah, I just made a Toy Story 1 and people are just like, yeah, that's peasantry, go away.
Mhm.
Well, what kind of graphics do you guys prefer?
So me, honestly, it doesn't matter to me personally, which draws me to my next question.
Oh, I, I have another quick question for you. Go into your this is a what out of all like all console, what did you see graphically that when you saw it, like you got a game, like you knew the game was gonna look good, but when you saw it, you were like, wow.
I mean, you're probably gonna think I'm weird, but Super Mario 64.
Super Mario
No,
64?
for
Okay.
Yeah,
sure. That's
yeah. Like when I booted that up for the first time, I thought that was real. Like it looked
yeah.
brilliant to
Yeah.
me. Like at the
Dude,
time.
Mario 64 and Donkey Kong Country. Those
Yeah.
are the two
Oh
for me.
yeah, that's a
Just
good
like,
one.
what? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is possible?
For,
I remember being wowed by actually Gears of War 1. I remember like
Mm-hmm.
that first opening, like watching it, and I was like, oh man, this looks good. Like this looks good.
Mm-hmm.
What about
for
you?
me, for me, it was Out of This World. If I don't know if y'all remember that.
Is that like the side-scrolling?
It was a
Super Nintendo
cinematic
game?
It was cinematic platform. It came out on Super Nintendo. It was on
Okay.
Yeah.
PC as well too.
Yeah, I know what you're
I've
talking
played that.
Okay.
about. Mm-hmm.
I rented
Good
that
for
from
me.
Blockbuster.
How far did you get?
The first nowhere because you didn't know you had to run all the way back to like let the thing jump. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
hours went nowhere.
For me, that was the that was the game that did it for me. I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And that was back in '91. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, those games nailed the aesthetic that they were kind of going for. Of course, they were yeah. So what were you about to say, Brian? Before I kind of interrupt you
No,
into
you're
that
fine, man.
craziness.
That was a really good question. I like that. Um,
Gold star.
Now I'm working on
that's
2 star.
that's oh man, I got I gotta check your ego. I'm like, what am
Yeah,
I? Now I got
yeah,
neg you.
Take one back.
yeah.
That was a pretty good question for an idiot. What is more important, everybody? Excellent graphics or good performance?
Which is funny. So I popped in Borderlands 3,
Hmm.
and Borderlands 3 has the option to make it look a little bit better
Hmm.
or perform a little bit better. So I think for something like that, performance.
Mm.
You're running, you're gunning, you need that performance a little more than it looking a little bit better. But maybe for a role playing game, something that's a little more slower pace, something that's slower. I maybe want to go for graphics to kind of give me that cinematic.
Hmm.
I'm in the story of it, and so on and so forth. So I think it's that's just about for me, for my personal opinion.
Hmm.
for me, it's performance. But when you can actually marry the two together and have them coexist in the same space, like God of War, then it makes the experience that
Of
much
course,
better.
yeah,
But
Mm.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that game did look
I love
good.
how he's just like both.
Yeah, yeah. I'm an elitist.
I mean,
Both. I will accept nothing
I,
less.
I lean I lean more towards performance, but like I said, when you marry them both, it's you hit that when they hit that
Yeah,
sweet
yeah.
spot, it's incredible.
Definitely
It-
performance. I've played enough games that it slows down when there's fire on the screen.
Mhm.
Chugs that. Yeah.
Just make the fire look worse.
Yeah, let me get through this goddamn
Turn the
board.
fire into 2D sprites or something. Let me move at more than 5 FPS. Yeah, performance for sure. Unless it's like a turn-based role-playing game
Yeah,
Mhm.
where it just doesn't matter.
yeah.
Like, let me move.
Yeah, of course I would love to have both. God of War is a rarity. Not I wouldn't say a rarity, but God of War looked good and played good. Like and had a good story. Like it just knocked out the same thing with Spider-Man. Looks good, plays good. But if I had to have a preference, probably performance. And if I had to choose one or the other, give me fast paced performance. If I'm taking my time, all right, give me something that looks a little good. So
Yeah. So when you bring up the option to pick the two in like current gen games, a lot of current gen games are doing the performance or graphics mode. I try to go to performance to see if I see a difference. But if I don't see like some f- real frames per second that's like wowing me, I'll go back to graphics. But
yeah.
yeah, you bring up a good point. I don't know if I wouldn't sacrifice good graphics if the game runs like dog shit. Like Watchdog Legions, for example. Not
Hey, while
to,
we're talking, huh?
not to throw that under the bus, but if I could choose to like downgrade the graphics so the game wouldn't crash every other day, I would definitely I would definitely dial it down. But yeah, I
And
guess
you have an X, you have the S or the X.
I have the S.
You have the S,
For small.
and even with the S, it's chugging and crashing.
Yeah, yeah. And like I'm gonna dial it back a little bit. Like the game doesn't run like garbage. Like yeah, it's not.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably not. It's not hitting a locked 30 frames per second. It's probably like in the low 20s when it's really bad.
Hmm.
But yeah, if I have to choose between good graphics or like game breaking performance, I'm definitely going for the graphics.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Mm, all right.
So while we're talking about graphics and what makes good graphics and whether super realistic graphics make a really good game, I wanted to take some time and like round robin. Let's talk about some games that we really love, but the graphics of the game may be on the low part of the list of why we love those games.
Hmm. Hmm.
So for me,
Oh, no.
I'll start off. It's a game that I was talking about last week. No More Heroes,
Yeah. That's the yeah.
the
Where you
Pseudo
the
51 game.
yeah
Well, you gotta, is that how you know the game? By the
yeah.
you know the
Oh
game.
yeah, I know that game. Yeah, great game. Doesn't look that good, but it's great.
The sword fighting action game made by Suda 51. It was originally on the Nintendo Wii, which could tell you enough about graphically how that looked. The Wii
I'm
was not
trying to think.
a powerhouse, but the art style of that really made it look good, even though it was running on something that was the power of maybe two Game Cubes duct
Rub
taped
together.
together.
I love that you just skipped the Wii and went back to the
Yeah.
GameCube or the Wii U. So we're talking about games where the graphics were not good,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but you still
but we
enjoy.
still like the game.
yeah.
I'm going through my list. Hold on.
Oh yeah. I know JB got a ton.
Oh, yep. I just got a whole list in front of me.
Um,
Let me do some
I mean,
research.
yeah,
there are
sure.
some games where like you just couldn't really see that much because it's kind of like zoomed out. So I guess graphics are kind of bad in games like Body Harvest, which is a really fun
Oh,
N64 game.
I used to love that game where you're fighting the aliens.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like it's
man.
a great game, like,
Mhm.
Oh,
but
I
it's
know
really
one.
nothing to look at.
Since I'm saying
Mhm.
WCW No Mercy. That game does not look very good.
It did at the time.
Mhm.
I don't think it did because the people's faces were just like
Like this.
Yeah, I mean, no, by No Mercy, it was better.
Yeah,
I guess you're right about that.
The
yeah,
early
you're
ones were like the shoulders were like flying
yeah,
out
you're
and
mashing
stuff.
like two games together. WCW versus NWO World Tour did not look good.
No, that game sucks. Like I respect it because it kind of started everything,
hmm
but that game sucks.
But yeah, No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000. Those by that time, they really mastered it.
Hmm.
Uh,
I can't think of any. I'm kind of befuddled on this
Uh,
one.
Wu, for me, it was Wu Tang Shaolin style.
Oh
I
yeah,
Oh,
that
didn't
game
really
didn't look
care.
that
I didn't
good,
really care too much for the graphics back in the day, and I
mhm.
still
and it
don't.
didn't. They were
But it was a
very
fun game.
simplistic. Like you couldn't see the. I don't even think the people really had faces because they had like hat. You know, you couldn't
Nah,
see. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're right. Damn it, I didn't think of that one.
For me, we were talking about. I can't remember what episode we were talking about this game on, but I brought it up and none of y'all heard of it before. Oh, I remember it was the music episode. But Katamari Damacy.
I know the name.
Yeah, that's the
I know
one where you got to
nothing
roll the
about it.
ball around.
Yeah,
Yeah, I never
oh,
played it,
that's a
but of
game.
course I've
I
seen it.
thought it was somebody's name.
you thought I was just randomly saying sound effects.
What?
Humiti
Scoops.
Babadi.
Did you mean
Happy
Ted
Part 2.
DiBiase?
But yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
Prince tried to put it on the black people list.
oh yeah. You tried
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put the king of
yeah,
the cosmos.
I
yeah.
was like, what list?
It's
Should
a
I play
fiction.
here?
Yeah, do I need to
I
leave?
had to go on
Our
search engine like, what?
The Black
secret
Sour list.
ixnay in front of the
But yeah,
JB skate.
so like games I played with bad graphics, it's like pretty limited to the 64 because Super Nintendo, like I kind of I like all those.
Oh
Like it
yeah.
was tough to have
Yeah.
bad graphics on like a 16-bit system.
Yeah,
So
and
So those were mostly good.
with
Um,
the Super Nintendo, I want to draw your attention to
Sports games.
Super FX Racer, whatever it was called.
Oh yeah, there's some bad racers.
That
I didn't
thing,
play that.
it was so
Or
when
there's some
Super
bad
Nintendo,
looking racers.
yeah, Super Nintendo, Nintendo had created the FX chip,
Yeah,
which allowed
for
them
Star
to,
Fox.
yeah, for Star Fox, and Star
Right,
Fox looked good, admittedly, but
right.
I mean,
they got a little for what they were trying to
yeah,
do. Yeah. But Super Nintendo, I guess, wanted to
Expand on the
expand
FX
what the heck, right.
universe.
So they created a kart racer called Super FX Racer, I think it was called. Let me
yeah.
make sure that's what it's called.
I'm pretty
Yeah, I just
sure.
looked it up. I
But
just looked it up.
He
jeez.
said,
It's hard.
he said, "Jeez, Jesus."
Ugh.
I looked at
I've,
it.
I've
Holy
played
shit.
I've played computer games that with the same graphics that were came out 10 years prior to that. Why did
So
they think that was even gonna be a good
Yeah, they
idea?
were just trying to utilize that like 3D tunnel
mhm.
effect like technology that they used in Star Fox, and they just didn't put the same effort into it.
Oh
The
yeah, he a fucking
Star
guy.
Fox was fun though. I didn't play Star Fox for the graphics. I played because it was actually
Yeah,
fun.
I mean, like the graphics aren't like something that you look at now and you're like, wow, this looks great. It was just at the time
Mhm.
what they were doing with that
Yeah,
3D
was
effect
just
was a
something
really
cool and
big
different. Yeah, it
deal.
was. Yeah.
I mean, the
So
game's great,
yeah,
but yeah, definitely did not play it for the graphics.
the game's called Stunt Race FX, and
Stunt Race FX,
yeah,
I definitely played that.
that's what it's called. So
Oh,
it's on. They ported it to the well, not ported
I
technically.
had
It's
that game.
on the Switch. You could play it if you have the Nintendo Online, and that's what made me go back to
Yeesh.
it. And I was like, my son walked into the room. He was like, "What is this
What the hell is
garbage?
this? I'm about to run away.
It's
Go
trash."
upstairs and package.
Oh,
Do
here's
it.
one. Bad graphics, great game. NFL Blitz.
Ooh, that
I
game,
didn't play
yeah.
any. I didn't play
I mean, NFL Blitz, NBA Jam, like
Mm,
those are. It's like you didn't care what they looked like. They're just
mm,
like
NBA
so fun.
Jam on Super Nintendo looked bad. Of course, it looked good in the arcade, but
mm-hmm.
the Super Nintendo version did look bad, and I did
Yeah.
play a lot of that. All right.
Yeah, that.
NFL Blitz. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
some because like I was thinking about like some 2D shooters
Mhm.
that like might not have looked that great, but it's a 2D shooter and they're like always fun.
What about
But
those first 3D first person shooters like your Turroks and your
so Turok, I guess Turok at the time it looked good, like the
Yeah, at the time it
dinosaurs
looked
and
good.
everything. Like it looked pretty good. It's just the fog that they put in,
yeah.
so like the draw distance is really bad. Turok 2 was much better
Mm-hmm.
than the first one. I'm going through. There's some games where you just didn't care about the graphics, like Pilot Wings or Blast Corps,
Absolutely.
um, Battle Tanks.
Hmm.
Like you didn't care about those graphics. Buck Bumble.
So is
Who?
it Buck Bumble?
Buck
Hey,
Bumble's pretty fun, man.
don't slander Buck Bumble.
It's fun.
It is
That's a
fun.
Buck,
game.
Buck Bumble is under the yes column in my recommendations.
So
It's
the
a good game.
I mean Nintendo period, but definitely in the N64 era, they were like creating mascots like crazy and like never going back to them. Buck Bumble, I think, only had the one game, right?
I don't
Here you go,
remember.
Mike. Here's the
I
theme
don't even
song.
remember the
I've
cover.
never heard of this game.
There's so many mascot platformers on the 64 that only had one iteration.
Like Glover.
Are you guys hearing
Glover.
that?
No, they can't hear it.
Okay.
I'm playing the Buck Bumble theme song for them.
No, I can't hear it.
It's like a Jamaican.
Yeah.
Yeah, you buck bum do man. Buck
And
bum
it's
do.
but Buck Bumble's not Jamaican. Why did they do that?
They capitalized.
Someone knew a guy, and they were just like, "Hey, you want to do the theme song?"
We
They
need some.
decimated. Good old Ubisoft.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good game.
it
It's
is a good
I have to
game.
check it out.
It's a third person shooter, but Buck Bumble obviously because he's a bee he could fly. So yeah,
Yeah,
But he's not Jamaican though.
it's
he
a
is
third
absolutely
person
not
shooter.
Jamaican. That's what I think. I said that third person
Okay,
shooter.
yeah, but yeah, it's a fun game.
Hmm.
I had a good time with it.
You know who are Jamaican? So I not the
A lot of people.
I keep
Where are
forgetting
we
that
going
the
right now?
trolls on World of Warcraft are they
Oh
speak.
Yeah, for
So I
sure.
never
Yeah,
played
they're
World of
Jamaican.
Warcraft with
Yeah.
sound on. The other day I had it on. They were like, "Hey
Wow.
man,
Really?
why don't we go to the
Really?
raid and kill?" I was like, "What kind of?" I,
even when even when you
I
read
forgot.
the captions, like
I, don't- I
Oh yeah, it's like phonetically written
does
out.
it
Man.
Yeah,
really? I
yeah,
never. I found it.
Mon.
I was, hey man, don't you know we got to go kill the dwarves? I was like, whoa, this is going back on mute.
There's so much good music in that
I
game.
have never listened to it with
A lot of good music
and
in it.
that scared me right in back into my shell. Literally, the one time I turned it on, I'm in the middle of Manon and the Red and the dwarves. What? What kind of cease and desist, Tony? You ain't got nothing to do with that, Mon.
We
What the
this
hell,
own
game's
Mon?
been out. This game's been out for 15 years, and you're
right.
just
I
realizing the
just
trolls are
noticed
Jamaican.
that the goddamn trolls are a bunch of goddamn Jamaican beauty smoking.
All right, so
You
so
pay
back to back
$15
to
a month.
graphics.
Right. We've
Back to
gone
graphics.
on.
I don't know if we've had this conversation on the podcast before.
Hmm.
Maybe. Um, talk about a game that. So I mentioned Donkey Kong Country, and it was like a really big deal when it came out because it had like all these like crazy graphics for the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
And since it was so popular, Nintendo told Miyamoto to make a game like that had
Right.
that graphics, like a
He's
Mario
right.
game that had that. And he was like, no.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's like, he didn't want to just like appeal to the
Yeah.
Western world and everything. So
Hmm.
he went the complete opposite and made something with such like low quality
Graphics.
graphics
Yep.
like on purpose. And that was why Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island looks the way it does,
Hmm.
because he was like, no, I'm not making that. I'm going to make it look the
The-
opposite. But like that's an aesthetic. Like people like that. And
Mhm.
now like that's been the aesthetic for Yoshi games since then.
Hmm.
So it's like kind of cool. It's like
So now you get to say Mr. Miyamoto again, bro.
It's so funny. Even when he's trying to create a shit looking game, he still makes
Right.
a good looking
He
game.
still has
he literally tried to make it look bad.
He went and wiped his ass, and there you go, Yoshi's Island, 5
Miyamoto,
million copies.
he
Like,
can't
what the-
fail. He cannot do any wrong.
He really can't. Wonder how many bad games he made.
I don't know. Now I'm kind of curious.
All
While
Yeah,
y'all looking
pull up
that
the
up,
list of Shigeru Miyamoto.
right, games that
uh,
he produced.
Yeah, let's see if he put any games we could put on this list.
you
Oh,
will be hard
I know a
pressed.
game that had bad graphics, but I found it fun. Oni
What?
on PlayStation.
Oh,
didn't play it.
PlayStation 2? Yeah. Oni.
that's
It was not
actually.
a good game in hindsight, but I loved it.
I don't remember much.
Once I got
Right, well, he didn't miss in that era. Damn. F-Zero, Star Fox,
Yeah, he's knocking them out the park.
Mario
Super Mario
RPG, Mario
yeah,
World.
yeah,
Nope,
I
nope.
don't think we're gonna
yeah,
win
yeah.
this one.
This guy's just cracking them out the park. Star
No.
Fox 64, Legend of Zelda.
Mm-mm.
Pokemon.
Yeah, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
you know what? There's one. Pokemon. Good graphics? Not really.
No,
Never
I
played it.
mean it was only like 3 colors.
Right. But even
Really?
like the artwork, aside from the actual Pokemon themselves, was very uninteresting.
hmm
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion. Mm. Metroid
Ocarina,
Prime.
Star Fox 64. God, Star Fox 64 is such a good looking game.
Absolutely.
That was, that was another one that did it for me.
He did Wii Sports. I hate him. Wii Sports was great.
Metroid Prime,
That didn't look that good, but it
Pikmin.
was fun.
This Hamtaro Ham Unite probably sucked.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
doesn't make bad games.
Mm-mm. He
Metal Gear
don't.
Solid, the Twin Snakes.
He
I
don't
never played it, but I'm
miss.
pretty sure it looked
I
good.
never played it. It was on the DS.
He does not
All right,
miss.
so yeah, the guy, he's pretty good at stuff.
Yeah, he's all right.
Yeah, this guy's
Another week. Yeah,
this
he earned
Yeah.
another week.
this game developing legend. He's quite
Yeah, he's all right.
a yeah. Damn, Pokemon's a good one. Oh, the id first person shooters, like the first ones, the Wolfensteins, the first couple of Dooms.
Those were
tho-
good at the time.
Those
Yeah.
were good, but like how the enemies were just like paper thin.
Oh yeah,
And it was just
they're
like
2D sprites.
yeah, but it's
And
super
when you
fun.
got around a certain way, they would like
Try
turn
to.
to
Yeah,
the
yeah, literally. Yeah, yeah, real quick.
Well, if that's the case, then the original Quake wasn't all that great. In hindsight.
I don't. So the first Quake I played was I think Quake 2 tournament or something like that.
Yeah,
didn't-
I'm
Oh,
not
did you
sure. I
play?
played it. Whatever Quake was on the PlayStation 2 was my first one.
first one I
Mhm.
played was on 64.
Mm,
Yeah.
They have Quake 1 and 2 on N64.
Okay. They still run
Quake.
like OG Quake.
Quake 2, I think,
Yeah,
is the
I think
big
yeah, I
one.
think Quake 2.
That was like that period in esports.
Where
Did like
that was-
Quake 2 and StarCraft
Was-
and Counter Strike.
Yeah,
Like it was
the
a
hot
huge.
shit. Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that those things are still going on. Like one of the things when I get in the shop, I usually when I turn on television, I usually turn on one thing, and usually I'll turn on Counter Strike, and those guys are still playing it just as hard as they were back then.
mm. I wish y'all could be on fly on the wall when my son tried to tell me about CS:GO. Like it was like something.
This is like a new thing.
We got to
Yeah.
get CS:GO.
Yeah, let me tell you all about this.
But pull,
Old stuff.
pull my
no
spectacle.
building.
And you just sit there like, okay, all right, right. Oh, really? Oh, there are
Oh.
guns. Oh,
So speaking of a game that with a great art style,
Mhm.
Team Fortress.
yeah.
Still-
Oh,
good
that's a
one.
good
It still
one.
looks good. Team
Mhm.
Fortress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Another Val game we'll never get a sequel to. Val did make that.
And then
I
there, I
told
mean, there are
you.
a bunch of like there's PC games like StarCraft where like everything is so small that you don't really see that much detail in them.
Mhm.
But like, game's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Obvi-
Yeah.
Like, look at like the original Warcraft. Like, it's not like it looks great. The gameplay,
Yeah, it's a game.
Diablo,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Diablo
Yep.
1 and 2 didn't look very good at
they don't
all.
look that
but
great.
Mhm.
Diablo 2 was probably
But
the best one so far.
but even with those isometric RPGs, when you pump up the graphics, can you even really notice? Because like you
It
said, like
but it's only so much you can get out of 'em because of the way it looks. There are a few I've played on PC that look pretty good in
Mhm.
comparison, but I mean it's still just that over. It's not like
Mhm.
the Final Fantasy remake looking good. You're not going to
right.
get that type of look out of it because of the way the game has to play. You need to be that far out to see all the enemies and so on and
Mhm.
so forth. So yeah, it's only so good that you can get, but when you nail it with what you're going for, it looks good.
Mhm.
Yeah. Graphics.
Did we do the thing?
They're okay.
Yeah.
Do they matter? Maybe. I don't know. They might. Who's to say?
So we talked for a little hour, and what we got out of that was they might be all right.
Yeah, it might be.
They just I don't think they. I mean, for us, I feel like they don't matter.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Right.
They're nice if they can exist and not take away from anything, but we don't need them.
yeah. I'd rather
We
have a
grew up on
Right.
8 and 16-bit games.
yeah,
Like,
Right. On Atari.
yeah,
yeah.
All right.
like,
So
dude,
final.
we grew up playing games on our freaking TI
Yeah.
calculators.
And those
Right.
like backlit springs.
Snake was like the hypest thing. You don't need graphics. They're nice when they exist and they
Yeah.
don't make things worse. But
So here, that goes to another good question. Instead of good games with bad graphics, have we ever played a bad game that has superb graphics?
I feel like you guys have a lot more of these than I do.
Anthem.
Oh no! For
Yeah, how did I think I tried to put that in the back of my head. Yes, Anthem. That's a gorgeous
Ooh.
looking game.
for your audio listeners, John took like 5 seconds to charge up for
Hey, and he said
that.
Anthem, and he is absolutely correct.
Ah man.
Good looking game.
Yeah.
Big let.
It's a beautiful game. It's a beautiful game, but
Mhm.
God.
I'm gonna play it next week when they when they added they add those EA Play games. I'm not. I refuse to pay 1 cent if they
Gonna waste your time, which is almost equally as
Some of these like MMOs you've played probably look good, right?
yeah. Bless Online,
Mhm.
Unreal Engine 4 looks great. I played it for about 3 hours yesterday. It's free on PlayStation. So it was a game that initially came out and did bad. So they tried to do what Final Fantasy 14 did. For those who don't know, Final Fantasy 14 came out and it was horrible. They went back to the drawing board, and Final Fantasy 14 is kicking ass. It's right on WoW's ass.
Mhm.
Same thing. This game, Bless, came out. It did shit. So they tried to reboot it. It's Bless Unleashed now. The game looks great. Comparable to Black Desert Online. We're playing it. I'm like, oh god, yeah, this won't. It's so with MMOs. If it's people will hop on it when it first comes out, and then a couple months down the line, you just see the decline of the population, and 2 years later, the MMO shutting down.
It's like you just need to give them stuff to
You
do.
just need to give them good stuff to do,
Right.
though.
Yeah, yeah, not
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
grinding in
yeah, yeah.
dailies.
It's good stuff to do, and it's. I mean, and that's why WoW's been around so long. They just do what they do, and they do it well. Every now and then they'll come out with a crappy expansion, but they usually fix it, and that's why it's been around for 15 years. And then every now and then, somebody will come up with something comparably good. Final Fantasy 14 is good, but yeah, most of these games look good and just play horrible.
I
Probably a lot of mobile games
Yeah.
would fit this
Hmm.
category.
I got a good one that's going to trigger probably both of you, Mike and John. Killzone Shadowfall, the Killzone launch game for the PS4.
I liked Killzone, so I can't
What?
like I enjoyed it. I played it like if it look I played it. I played it. I bought the big one. I got the Hellgast helmet
No,
in the shop right now.
Oh yeah, you got the
Yeah,
helmet.
the
yeah. I
PS,
played it
the
and
PS,
enjoyed it and beat it
the
on
PS,
like hard. Like that
the
was probably like the last game I beat on hard.
the PS4 one.
Wait, the
Yes.
game was on hard, or were you?
Oh, it's
Both.
that
You,
both.
you don't know it.
I
You don't
actually
know with
played it
Mike.
like I played it on like I played
I
I played it on hard. Like that's what I meant. Yes, yes, John.
It was all hard.
Look, ma, no hands. Like,
like
People was like, "How are you streaming this game?" I'm on the top camera, like, "Look, everybody, hey!"
I don't know. I don't know if you're on the because Killzone has always even with because three of them were on the PS3 if I'm not mistaken.
And I've liked every Killzone that came out, as bad as they all were, or as good as they all were. I enjoyed every one. That's maybe my guilty pleasure. Call me a sadist, but Killzone's all right with me. I'm waiting for the PlayStation 5 version to look good and be as equally as bad gameplay. I'm playing through it.
I highly doubt Sony's going to make one more kill just so you can buy one of the
Come on,
copies.
Don't fail me. Let me play that on hard. Yeah, yeah.
Another one is
I gotta sit next.
what?
I gotta sit next to him.
Ice
might,
cream.
might want to tilt that camera up just a little bit.
What you got?
The other PlayStation FPS exclusive, the Resistance series. You remember that? Made by
Playing.
Insomniac. They were.
Oh, no. I got one for you.
Mhm.
The PlayStation exclusive. It was called like Haze or Haze.
Oh,
The
I know what you're
guy.
talking about.
I played that. That was horrible.
Hmm.
Look good. That was hard. Was it Haze?
Yeah, it was. Hold on, let me see if I can pull it up to make sure. Yeah, so it was on the PlayStation 3, correct?
Yes, it was an exclusive. And the
Yep.
guy.
Haze.
Yeah, that was a
Made,
complete shit show.
published by our good friends at Ubisoft.
Yeah, good job, Ubisoft. Not fucking us, don't you?
Yeah, I remember because that was one of those games that literally the graphics were the selling point.
Yeah, and I think if I'm not mistaken, it started they were boasting the big, 40 versus 40,
Mm.
40 over here, 40 over here, and everybody just ramming dicks together and yeah, it was played it. And it was bad. Like you were like the armor was like a derivative of like bees or something. It was like
Mhm.
something crazy.
Bibbidi buck bumble.
Yeah, it was Bumble Buck Bumble.
We gotta keep this list of games we gotta go back and play together. Buck Bumble is
Dude,
definitely one of
yeah, you
them.
guys. I don't know if it has multiplayer, but it's a good game.
I've
Yeah.
never played Buck, so
Missing
Buck
out.
Bumble.
Now I'm looking up Nintendo 64 games published by Ubisoft. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Oh,
but
Oh,
that looked like the cartoon, didn't it?
maybe. I don't know. I never played it. Donald Duck going quackers.
I,
I don't remember going quackers.
Rayman 2.
Love me some Rayman too.
what about Race Simulator 2? That sounds
It's
horrible.
probably bad.
Yeah, Race-
Scars is good. That was a racing game. Rocket Robot on Wheels apparently is a good game.
Mm.
And yeah, bunch of crappy racing
Monaco
games.
Grand Prix. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
never good. Them
Mhm.
F1 race games I didn't like either.
They're just not interesting.
Yeah, but Race Simulator sounds like a complete shit show.
Sounds like the most boring possible racing game.
Absolutely racing simulator.
The only thing that's more boring is Cruising USA. But yeah, Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Oh man, speaking of ugly ass games, San Francisco. You remind me when you say Cruising USA, but San Francisco Rush is
No.
yes.
Some PTSD I have.
That game is ugly as
So,
dog
like,
shit.
people had a great time playing that game. Like
Mhm.
people would be like, "Oh, I love playing this game with my friends." Blah blah blah.
Mhm.
People don't realize that like there's very different experiences playing a game multiplayer and playing it single player.
Mhm.
And the Rush series is one of those games
Mhm.
because the CPU, like the rubber band, is crazy.
Mhm.
You can like, I just
Look,
it's like 11 hours.
Yeah, so I owned
And then
that
there's
game.
like 3 of 'em.
I owned that game, but when I tell you I have never played that single player a day in my life. I only pulled that game out when friends were over and we never raced. We just
Oh yeah, because you just like flying all over the place
yeah.
and blowing up. And, like, I'm sure it was a lot of fun. Playing single player is miserable because there are no difficulties. The circuit just as you play through it, it gets harder and harder.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so it's not like a puzzle game where it's like in time you'll figure it out, or like a platformer where like over time like
You'll
you
figure
kind
out
of
the
understand the mechanics. Racing games and fighting games, like you just have to get better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or get lucky.
I just have to, or
yeah,
get
or
lucky.
get
Like
lucky,
literally,
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened a bunch.
Or
Like
get lucky.
I'm like, yes, all 5 of them crashed. I win now. 12 hours later, yeah, that's the Batman game.
Yeah, that looks like shit.
Yeah, it looks
I thought that looked like that's not what I thought it was.
Yeah,
so
those
bad.
Yeah.
those building textures were everything just looked so ugly.
Or like the crowds in sports games when it was just like pixels of different colors.
Yeah. I mean,
So
even up
stupid.
until recently, the crowds in like NBA 2K were definitely down res compared to the actual
Oh yeah,
players on the
compared to
yeah.
the player. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched the actual MLB postseason or regular season at all this year,
Hmm.
but since they didn't have crowds in the stadiums, at one point they put in a CGI crowd,
Hmm.
Are you serious?
not like the NBA where they have the screens.
They
Yeah.
There were
just
literal
CG
fake people in the stands,
were they
like
cheering
cheering
and
each other.
stuff? Like the PlayStation One
But it's so
people.
funny because when they would cut to the angle that they use for like home runs and fly balls and stuff, you see the whole crowd, and then they would cut to a different angle, and like in the corner you would see the seats and they're all empty.
No.
So funny. They only did it for like a week.
Somebody was like, "Yeah, cut that.
They're
That
like,
looks
this
horrible."
isn't worth it.
Yeah,
Put the cardboard
Yeah,
cutouts
yeah,
back.
the cardboard cutouts were cool.
That was actually great.
Yeah, because they were like putting like weekends at Bernie's and stuff like that. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I would rather,
When
yeah,
people could pay
to have that
to
cut.
have the cutout of
Yeah, whoever
themselves.
thought the CG crowd.
So then that's what I was talking to like Gimmer about. He should do that Xanadu because when they have their online tournaments, they cut to an empty crowd as like a joke, and they put like stuffed animals in the crowd. Like you should
Ah.
sell cardboard cutouts. Let people put themselves in the crowd. Yeah, we'll take that.
Yeah, we'll take that.
Whenever he says no, like to one of my ideas, I'm like, all right, well, someone else is getting this.
Well, I think we did the
Hercules,
game.
Hercules.
I think we did the thing, guys. We can
I think
Yeah.
we
we
did the good
did
thing.
the thing. So that was that. We have anything else?
We have to actually outro the show.
Yeah, yeah. I'm talking about in the lineup. Besides-
No, that's it.
Okay. Catch us online. King Gardamus on PlayStation Network and Xbox. I actually just bought the consoles home, so I can actually play those consoles home. Playing all the games that I said above, and maybe hop on and play whatever else, Among Us or whatever else. You guys, who you is?
Are you-
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not on PlayStation
Yeah.
Network. My console doesn't have the internet.
yeah.
You can find me on n64.tv though.
Yeah, yeah. Watch
Just go
Darko
there.
stream. He's banging out all the 64 games. So
Not like Mike bangs them out, but
Yeah. got banging out some out. Yeah. Gentlemen,
You can find me on PlayStation Network, Janfinity 911. I'm on mainly playing Modern Warfare, so my name on there is Mr. Oh No. Hit me up. Let's bang some heads.
Just bang them
well,
out.
it's bang.
Bang some
oh, you was like, which heads are you banging?
Bang, 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 bang.
FPS over there looking
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a bug.
yeah.
You know me, Charm City Champ on everything. Still playing Fall Guys. Looking forward to they're adding a level in that called OnlyFans, where it's literally just a fan. It's just a level where it's just
Oh.
fans and you jump.
Ooh, very funny. Very funny.
Yeah. I see what they did there.
Watch our streams, youtube.com/MEP Technologies and twitch.tv/MEP Game Tech next week. Xbox Series X everything. I'm going to try to
Yeah.
play as many Series X games on stream as possible. I don't have the capability of streaming in 4K, so
Amicable guys.
24-hour stream.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to as long as it takes. I'm gonna show y'all every single Series X game I have access to.
Oh, cool. Good
One
deal.
stream.
I'll make
Nice.
sure I tune in for that. GG's.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Oh,
we
make sure
promo
I
that.
watch my own stream.
Yep. What was my? Oh, new picks of the new shop coming soon. 322 West Baltimore Street. Stay tuned for that. We all have been collaborating. We got some big stuff coming for you guys. So yeah. If you're in the Baltimore area, we're still open, but we're open minimally. We're still doing repairs and drop-offs and stuff like that. If you need more information, just email us or inbox of us. One of us will get back to you. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in.
And if you're not in the Baltimore area, you can still shop online at mapgametech.com.
Yes, I was waiting for you to say that because that's your baby. Right there.
Do you remember the phone number?
Yes, it's
The area code.
240 something game.
Something.
FTW game.
Yeah, FTW game. I did remember it. Yeah.
For
See?
the win.
Yeah.
You should just make it to where they have to guess those 3 numbers in the front.
Yeah.
You want to call me?
I
get
didn't
it.
actually make the number. My brother actually made the number, so that's why.
And he
unfortunately-
he had 3 letters to pick from,
Well,
and he didn't pick
you've
MAP.
met my brother. You know he's special. Well, John and Brian know. Like my brother is like legit, like special. Like he is. It takes a special person to
Might be
like.
time to change the number.
That's so funny that JB points out the number literally could have been MAP game, and he did.
That like hurt my soul.
My brother chose the number. I didn't get a say in it. He just popped
Oh,
up with
man.
it. I-
Oh.
So, yeah, so call that number. We'll get back to you. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all be good. Yeah, yeah. Peace.